Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
But for me, it is showing very small. So this part you have understood, the vapor pressure curves, two component with vapor pressure curves. One we are plotting with respect to the mole fraction in the liquid state and in the mole fraction in the gaseous state. Is this part clear? Have you got any questions here?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So now we are going to look into the phase diagram if I have to find out a composition. Okay. Suppose I have a binary liquid, two liquid system A and B. A is more volatile than B, and the partial pressure of A will be hence greater than that of the vapor pressure of the pure component A will be greater than that of the vapor pressure of the component B at a given temperature. Suppose can you see this diagram? Is this diagram visible to you? The liquid
Yes,
phase.
ma'am.
Okay. So if you remember, we had drawn this diagram. This was a straight line. This was following the Raoult's law. And this is known as which curve? This is known as the bubble curve. And the lower curve is the one which is corresponding to the vapor pressure of the vapor mole fraction of the component in the vapor state. So now if I consider a composition here, if I take a composition here, then what I have? Then I have a composition at point 1 is only going to be composed of the liquid phase. There's not going to be no gas phase present at this particular composition. If I draw a line, then I can read the composition of the liquid phase B. If I know the liquid phase B, I can find out the liquid phase A. So when I lower the pressure from this position 1, I have the mole fraction of the liquid only in the liquid form. I do not have the Y at all. Only X will be there, and I'm taking the B component. So only A component will be present at at 1. Now I gradually decrease the pressure and come down to my coexisting line at point 2. At point 2, I have not changed the composition. I have not changed the composition. I have come down to point 2, and correspondingly, what will be the composition in the vapor phase will be obtained by joining a line like this. Okay, so corresponding to this, what will be my vapor phase? This will be my vapor phase. Wherever it is cutting the due line, you make parallel lines, and here in the same composition X as 1, 2 point is the one which is representing the mole fraction of the component B in the liquid state. So it's the mole fraction in liquid. Correspondingly, if I draw a line perpendicular which is cutting the due line at some position and the same composition, same condition of pressure, temperature is held constant, same condition of pressure, I get to that hit in another location on the another coexisting line that is corresponding to the vapor of the components, corresponding to the vapor component of the mole fraction of the B. Okay. So as we decrease the pressure, eventually come to T point. A is pure liquid, whatever it is. A, B, both will be present. Only at A point there will be no gas phase. As we lower the pressure and come down to point 2, then I have the same composition. I may not change the composition remaining same, only pressure is put down. And corresponding to this point, I have the mole fraction of, say, B in the liquid phase as XB2, and in the vapor phase, the mole fraction correspond to YB at the point 2. Am I clear? Can you read it? So the composition of the liquid is corresponding to, in the liquid is XB at point 2. 2 is the point, okay? Point 2, and corresponding to that same pressure condition, you have the Y component, vapor, the B component in the the vapor phase corresponding to point 2. Can you read this graph now? If you can, then I can move on to the next one. So this is what I was talking about. I had initially only the liquid state, all in the liquid state. Now I have dropped the pressure to reach to the coexisting line, hitting at point 2, and corresponding to that point 2, I have taken the at the same pressure, I have hit the dew line, and wherever I hit the dew line, I read the vapor pressure of the component B, mole fraction of the component B in the vapor stage. To find out the composition of the gas phase, we have to switch the coexistence line. Okay, that is to describe the mole fraction of the component B in the vapor state, keeping the pressure constant. This is the point 2. The composition can be read for the point 2 is YB for the vapor and XB for the liquid. Okay. Now note, what do you note here? What I have said, that the mole fraction of A of liquid B is higher than the mole fraction of the phase B, component B in the vapor phase. Why is that so? You can make out from the scale. This scale is corresponding to both A and X and Y both. Okay, you can see, imagine it to have two scales, one corresponding to X, one corresponding to Y in the same scale, and for the component B. So here you can see that if you compare from 0 to 1, which is the component which is higher? This is higher. So which is higher in the vapor phase? Please talk, otherwise we cannot even proceed for this sort of a lecture. This is the mole fraction of the component B in the liquid state. For the same point, when I take a same pressure condition, let it hit the dew line, I get the, whenever it intersects, I get the mole fraction of the component B in the vapor phase. And I say that the mole fraction of the component B in the liquid state is greater than that of the component B in the vapor state. Why? B is less volatile than the A. That is what I have taken initially. So volatile, if it is less volatile, if it is less volatile, then what will happen? That will enrich the liquid phase, then the vapor phase.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now keeping the same condition here of point, say I have 2, I have, along the coexisting line, I decrease the pressure. Okay, along the coexisting line, I decrease the pressure from the 0.2 to 0.3. And when I reach the 0.3, again I draw a perpendicular at the same pressure to read the composition of the mole fraction of B in the liquid state and in the mole fraction of the component B in the vapor state. So as along the coexistent line, and when I'm coming down, I'm lowering the pressure. If I'm lowering the pressure, I should be getting more and more of the vapor phase. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you see that my vapor phase is also increased. What about the component B? What about the component B? What is happening to the component B? As we decrease the pressure to 3, we stay on the coexisting line. As long as there is no phase, two phase around, then what we have, the composition in the liquid and the gas can be read as XB and XYB. Increasing the fraction of B in the liquid phase enriches the liquid phase in the less volatile component. When we are increasing the mole fraction of B in the liquid phase, that means we are going towards 1. What we are doing in the process, enriching the liquid phase in the less volatile component, means whichever is less volatile will be retained because we are not getting that gas formed. We continue in the coexistent line, keep decreasing till a point will come where, say, the composition of the vapor phase and the composition of the same component at phase 1 becomes equal. There can be a composition, there eventually will be a composition. We have started with some composition, and here when we come down to a point B, 0.4, from here 0.4 is such a point where you have the vapor pressure of the mole fraction of the component B at the fourth point is equal to the mole fraction of the component B when it was in the liquid state, 0.1.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the composition in the gas phase is the same as what was in the first. That means, what does that mean? This was only liquid state. 0.1 was only liquid state. That means we have come to a point, there is no liquid left anymore to continue in this diagram. So we will come down to a point where you will have the composition of the vapor phase, mole fraction of in the vapor phase equal to the mole fraction of the component in the liquid phase to begin with. So this is how you read the compositions. So each of the point you can read the mole fractions. So if you can draw the diagram, if these you do in the lab classes, if you can have the vapor pressure measured, and if you can make this line, then you can read the composition. And why do you think this is important, these sort of lines? Have you any clue what will this be applied to? Suppose you are doing a distillation. Suppose you are doing a distillation and you are making a component which is less volatile, richer in the liquid phase. And the more volatile you are taking out. Suppose you have the process of collecting each of the mole fractions. This is what the distillation is all about. You enrich one phase, suppose the liquid phase is getting enriched with the non-volatile component, then the volatile component is taken off, then you are actually reaching a position where you can have a fraction which is, suppose water and ethanol, if you want to separate out, then you take out more of the ethanol, and then you are getting a remaining water as the main leftover. That means there's a separation which we can take out. So each of the portions which we are taking out, which is having lesser portion of water, that can be further distilled so that you can get to a condition where you have a very pure compound when you have both the components which are volatile. Understood where it is used?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, when you have this, what you can calculate from here is the actual composition. You have got the mole fraction of a component in various points, right? This is the diagram which we had just now seen, where you have this as having a higher vapor pressure than this. That means this is more volatile than this one. This generates more pressure at a given temperature. More vapor is generated compared to this. The temperature is constant. Now, to determine the quantities in each phase, what you do is you apply lever rule. Lever rule is an example which is now I am given, but these are the things which you are asked in numerical or you are asked to do in the lab. So until you do it with me, it is going to be futile exercise. Please use your pen and paper to do this. Now, how to determine the quantities of each of the components in the phase? What is the number of moles in the solution and gas at 0.2 and 0.3? Sorry, this should have read 0.1 and 0.2. This should have read 0.1 and 0.2. Anyway, we can use that generalized. How can we calculate, or the way you calculate is to be found out. What you need to know? You need to know the number of moles of A and B. You need to know the total number of moles of the gas and the liquid phase. Now let us look at the 0.1. This is 0.1. Okay, this is 0.1. You see, this is entirely in the pure gas phase. All of the components should be in the gas phase when we are in 0.1. So number of moles of the component A will be the mole fraction of that component in the vapor state, since it's a gas, into the number of moles of gas, and that is nothing but the mole fraction into the total moles. Total moles, total number of moles is what? The Na plus Nb is total number of moles, and total gas plus total liquid is also total moles. Yes? Can we write this? Can we write this? Total number of moles of A is equal to the mole fraction of the A in the vapor state, because here you do not have any, it is 0.1. All are in gas state only. So the mole fraction of the component A in the at 0.1 in the vapor state into the number of moles of gas at 0.1, and that will be nothing but the total number of moles into the mole fraction at the point A of the component A. Yes? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know how many of you are
Ma'am, are you
following.
asking about the box thing, right? Ng plus N is equals to N total, and Na plus Nb is equals to N total.
No, these are things you should remember. I'm
Okay.
talking about this portion. I'm finding out the composition. I'm finding out the composition, and at 1, 1, 2, 3 are the subscripts of the points. At 1, what do you have? At 1 you have only gas. There is
Yes,
no
ma'am.
liquid. There is no liquid, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
if I have only gas, then what will be my number of moles of A? Number of moles of A will be the mole fraction in the gaseous state into the total number of moles in the gaseous state, which is nothing but the mole fraction of the component A into the total moles. What is mole fraction? Na by total moles is mole fraction.
Yes, ma'am.
So Na should be mole fraction into the total number of moles. Is it so
Yes, ma'am.
difficult?
Yes, ma'am.
Now at point 2. Point 2, that means from here I have moved along the coexisting line. Okay, this is the point 2. Now number of moles of A will be, here you can have two components, the vapor as well as the liquid. At this point you will have the vapor and the liquid. Here you had only the liquid, vapor. Here you will have the vapor and the liquid as you move along a perpendicular direction and hit the bubble line. This is the dew line and the bubble line. You draw
Yes.
along this point 2, you draw a perpendicular to have parallel, so that you have the same pressure. At the same pressure, it will intersect the other the bubble line. So the composition here will be what? Here it will be slightly complex because you will have the vapor as well as the liquid present. So if I want to find out the total moles of the component A, will be what? The mole fraction of the vapor into the number of moles of the vapor at point 2 plus the mole fraction of the A component in the liquid phase into the mole fraction into the number of moles of A at point 2. This is A in the liquid state. Okay.
Ma'am, I'm not getting how XA2 and Na2 comes, like from where it comes.
It is not coming. You are hitting this line.
Yes, ma'am.
You are hitting this line. So corresponding to that, you will have xy. This is the xy you will get, and corresponding to this you will get the sorry. This will corresponding to this you will get y, and corresponding to this you will get the x.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Corresponding to this you get a y, and corresponding to this you get the y, and corresponding to this you get the x.
Ma'am, actually your cursor is not visible, so I'm not able to understand.
Cursor is not visible.
No, ma'am.
What a curse this is. I am supposed to finish up so much and cursor is not visible. But I am using the cursor. And if I use the cursor, it is going moving. I cannot press the cursor. What to do? Can you see the point 2?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm able to see the point.
If you are able to see the point 2, then you will see that it is, if you draw a line which is in the same pressure, not changing the pressure, it will hit the two lines. The
Yes.
above is the bubble line and the lower is the dew line. It is
Yes, ma'am.
going to hit the two positions, and corresponding to the wherever it hits the due line, if you drop a perpendicular, you can read the mole fraction of that component in the vapor phase, and corresponding to this you can read the vapor pressure of the component in the liquid phase.
Yes, ma'am.
Because since it is it's shaped as a curvature, so one you have a sort of a bow sort of a thing, so you will have two intersections, and these two intersections will correspond to, one will give you the vapor fraction and the other will give you the liquid fraction. Now
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
clear. Now if I
Yes, ma'am.
want to find, now if I want to find out the Na or Nb, if I say Na, Na, and if you find out Na, you can find out Nb. So if you can find out Na, what will the Na be? Number of moles at that particular point 2 of any component.
Ma'am, that should be XA2 into NG2, I guess, because that is the confusing factor. NA2, like how we calculate NA from NA already.
And Na, Na we have already calculated, right? At point 1.
Yes, ma'am. Like at gas and liquid mixture, also we are calculating Na by using formula Ya to Ng2 plus Xa to Na2. So
Hmm.
here Na2 is comes or Ng2 will be there.
No, it is not Na, it is L. This is the liquid fraction.
Yes, ma'am. Total number of moles in liquid and not Ng, NL maybe.
Not L, not A. This is L.
Yes,
Understood?
ma'am. Okay.
But when we are writing here, we are writing NL. And we are not writing L. We are writing A only.
Okay, ma'am.
All throughout, I've done that too. So it may be confusing if you. So what I mean is this portion is coming from the liquid fraction, and this is coming from the gas fraction.
Yes, ma'am. Now it is understandable. I got confused from Na factor in the
Because
RHS.
both the sides you are having Na, na?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So at point 2 you have liquid gas mixture, so this will be the, if I want to find out the Na, and both, since both of them are Na, then I can equate the two, equate this with this. If I equate this with equal to the one which I have here, then what, and then simplify, what do I get? These are supposed to be done through numericals. What is N total? N total is the number of moles of, I have said that you take the number of gaseous moles plus the liquid moles is equal to total moles, and also Na plus Nb is also total moles. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, if I can equate these to this equation, because both are reading Na, both are the number of moles of A at the points. So if I have the number of moles of Na in the same point which we are beginning with, this is the number of moles of Na. I've from this to this I have moved. So my number of moles of Na, if I can equate the two equations, then what do I get? What do I get? I've equated this with this one, and then broken up the total number of moles. Are you getting it?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Just a
No,
minute.
you are
Sorry,
not.
ma'am.
Just have a look. Here, read please. NA you read as NL. Okay. This NA you please read as NL.
Yes, ma'am.
All you have substituted is the N total out here.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. The last expression which we have got, like, in spite of NA, we get NL, or XA minus YA into NL.
Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Then you try to take common and take out. See, here I have taken N liquid and I have not mentioned liquid anywhere. So these typographic errors are always going to be there. If I do in the blackboard, then you will find it out. You try to take common and simplify and read Na as NL liquid, and take the ratio of Ng by N liquid at 2 point. Simplify this. Are you doing?
Yes, ma'am. Simplifying it.
See, if you take the mole fractions common, Na Xa2 minus Ya1 divided by Ya1 minus Ya2. What is Ya1 minus Ya2? This is actually the liver arm. I'm finding out the portion, this portion and this portion. So the ratio of G by G liquid, G gas by G liquid for any position 2 is nothing but from the point 1, you take one arm and the other arm, the ratio of the two arms. And that is nothing but, for here, if I take in terms of this is actually written in A in terms of, you can simplify this further by putting the XA as 1 minus XB. Then it will get further simplified. You can here also you can write down 1 minus YB. Here also you can write down 1 minus YB, 1 minus YB. Then you can get it in terms of B. You should do numericals on this, otherwise you will never get it. Only thing is, what you do is the ratio of at a point, at a ratio at a point, or ratio of the liver rule is that the ratio of the point of the gas versus the liquid, the ratio of the point of number of gas versus the number of moles of liquid at a point is nothing but the ratio of the two arms from this center point, from the point you are considering. Here you are considering point 1. So from point 1 to point 2 along the two arms. It is the ratio of the two arms. That is why it is known as liver arm. So this is one of the portion is XA at point 2 minus YA at point 1. This is point 1. You are not even able to see the cursor, so what is the point I am pointing out?
Yes, ma'am. That's the problem today.
So how can I do it? We don't even have a blackboard.
Ma'am, the
back.
previous method was like comparatively good because we were able to see the cursor also, and this at least we are able to see the slides. Only the thing like we are not able to see it moving, but it was moving once you like
I don't
change
know.
them.
It's in the middle of the whole thing. That is why. And I had so much things to discuss today.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me. I'll cover it up a little bit next time also. So another point is that this same curve which we have taken here in the previous curves, what we had taken is the temperature was held constant, and we were pressure changing the pressure and reading the composition, or changing the composition and reading the pressure. But instead of that, we can also have a temperature composition plot, we call as TX plot. In TX plot, what you take is obviously, instead of the temperature, here pressure is held constant, and you will do the same thing and generate the curve. But here you can understand the one which is supposed to be more volatile has a lower melting point, and so suppose A was supposed to be more volatile, so lower melting point or lower vaporization. So this is going to be a point which is lower compared to the one which is less volatile, which is was supposed to be component B. So the curve gets inversion because instead of temperature you have uh, pressure as the constant factor. Every other thing remains the same. Again, you do a composition curve, and this is instead. So obviously, this will become the bubble line, and bubble line, this is not drawn to scale. This should be straight line, and this one should be having a curvature. And since it is a inversion of the temperature, if you see, previously pressure vapor pressure would have been higher here and lower in this side for the B. Here it is lower here for, since it's temperature, the melting point, and this is the boiling points, melting point here. So these two are supposed to be, will be less volatile compared to this. So the curve is inverse, and if since the curve is inverse, the vapor phase will be on the top and the liquid phase will be in the bottom. Okay, the reading is the same. Usually we do not ask you to do it, but it is more convenient when you are doing an experiment. Temperature composition curve is more easier to do compared to the pressure composition curve, because uh, pressure can be maintained held constant. But usually we do in the whenever we are doing a reading on the, this coexisting line is the same line in the PT curve in the phase diagram. So you can understand the similarity of the two curves. But when we are trying to say, if XA, if YA, the mole fraction of the component A in the vapor state is will be higher in the phase, then the say the mole fraction of the same component in the liquid state, the less volatile component, then the less volatile component is going to be enriched in the gas phase. So gas phase enrichment will be happening only when you have the YA, that is the 1 minus YB, you can say. The YB is the one which is supposed to be the more volatile. So 1 minus that, that means the less volatile is enriched, then you have less volatile in the uh, higher than that of the XB. That means whatever is in the liquid phase. So these composition curves are always used in when you are doing distillation. I'll just mention this and leave today's class, because it is, I'm finding it very uncomfortable to teach with this sort of a uh, system which we have. So when we are talking about ideal solution, we have discussed most of this in the last class in what is the ideal solution. But when we say the solution follows the Raoult's law, we say that the solution is ideal. Now, what is the condition for the chemical potential when we are talking about the ideal solution? When we have not defined the chemical potential in as such, we have taken it to be for the liquid we have taken in the last class. But what we have to understand is when we are talking about an ideal solution, we are talking about a phase of, say, component A. We first need to ensure that the component A in the liquid state is in equilibrium with the component in the gas state. So this is the first criteria which we have to establish, the coexistence or equilibrium between the species in the two phases, liquid and the gas. And assuming the ideal gas behavior, what we had said, we have taken this initially, the chemical potential of that species in the gas phase will be equal to the chemical potential of that species in the standard state plus RT ln, the partial pressure of the component A. So from here we can write, that the chemical potential of the liquid, since the chemical potential of the gas phase is equal to the chemical potential of the liquid phase for that component, so we can equate this to the liquid state from the coexistence or equilibria. So this is the expression we have for the ideal state for the chemical potential of the A and the liquid state at temperature at a given the partial pressure PA is equal to the chemical potential at the standard state plus RT ln, the partial pressure. If the system were just pure, if there is only one component, then we can write down the chemical potential of the pure state equal to the chemical potential of that standard state plus RT ln, the vapor pressure of the pure component. For a mixture, what do you write? For a mixture, what do you write? We write that time we are talking about the partial pressure. So we are talking about the chemical potential of the species in equal to the chemical potential at the pure state plus RT ln, the ratio of the partial pressure to that of the vapor pressure of the pure state. According to the Raoult's law, we have the partial pressure being of that component being equal to the mole fraction of that particular species into the vapor pressure of that particular species in the pure state. If I put in that, if I plug plug in this in this expression, then what do I get? I get the ideal gas for ideal gas solution, the chemical potential of that particular species in the liquid state at given temperature and pressure is nothing but the chemical potential of the species in the pure state plus RT ln, the mole fraction of the component A of that in that particular phase. So what we have from this, we can conclude that the chemical potential in the of the component in the mixture will be less than that of the chemical potential of the component in the pure state. Okay, I think I'll stop it because I'm not finding comfortable teaching today. This way is not the way it should be. And please let me know whether you have understood the liver rule or not. Otherwise, we have to talk about it tomorrow also.